Greetings, my friends. This is Gilles. I wanted to welcome you to this channel. I hope you're managing well to stay within your inner kingdom, to stay within the realm of light. This point of stillness within is really where it all comes down to, because we become reconnected to the greater level of consciousness of the higher planes with all the luminaries, the archangels, the ascended masters, and so on, and. We want to enjoy the flow, enjoy there is acceleration of time, and then there is time of stop, where the time is like just stagnant. So it's about going with the flow and returning to a natural flow, for we have not completed the inner process just yet it is the time to follow, to understand the young, the divine will in motion, the sacred will of God. And when we act in relationship, to dwell within the law, to dwell within the kingdom, to dwell within righteousness, within integrity, with acceptation of the flaws, and for forgiveness, so they know not what they do, otherwise they would not do it. So for there is the outer matrix that we need to balance out, and the inner truth that we can create magic and miracle from. But the outer world was actually the divine creation of God, this material reality. It is what humans think of it that makes it unholy, or what men did with it that makes it very painful to live on. So we need to reconstruct, reconnect to that inner divinity, from the inner source, where all is given from there, and from there we'll find this point of freedom. For we should not expect the freedom to come for the whole world like that. It's like Jesus didn't wait for the world to ascend, to come in alignment with this I am presence, or the Buddha did not wait for the ascension to come into his enlightenment. So it will all be gradual. When I talk about this point of freedom, it is a personal sense. When we find this point of freedom, we are free. The freedom comes from the security of love within, but we have never known freedom, truly known inner freedom yet. So it is a new experience. We have to trust, we have to have faith, to let go of the polarized consciousness and move back into the unity of love. Those two powers will continue to play out within our mind, but more and more we'll realize they have they have less and less power over our choices. But we are right now we are forced to look at the potential destructive effect of war, the terrible waste of human resources as well, not just on how much it costs, but the humans suffering. And so it is something that's been played out by the dark forces, the dark extraterrestrial, to try to create a war between Russia and the West, and so they would be like very weakened, and then China would take over and create this communist totalitarian regime that would be a lot easier to manage for the deep state. But we want to oppose that in every possible way, for we will come to realize that there's a great deal of waste in resources. So much money is invested in those very expensive weapons, when they could be used to feed the people, to house the people, to educate the people, to take care of the quality of life of the communities. For most, only the very few people are pro-wars, but then that war that was created is most of what has been said in the media. So it's all about propaganda anyway. But nobody's white and black. There is only grays. But it's not really what they've been serving in the media is about the cause of all those things. And there are also aspects that will come into the light. For in essence, what we need to do, we are not here to solve all the problems of the world or to balance out all the energies of the world. We want to make small steps and trust the inner divinity and the overall plan of God, to know that everything is supervised, and yet we have, due to the quantic effect, we need to continue to cultivate this vision of freedom, of peace, of beauty within ourselves, regardless of what can be presented in the outer frame. But a new system of functioning as a society is being emerging within the mind of millions of people that are realizing the system doesn't work, and are starting to envision a new way of going about it. Then we'll see from the consensus to take the best ideas of that collective and to adapt it to the new systems that will come afterwards. For now, there is a book I recommend. It's called The Art of War. It's a very old book from the 6th century BC, from Sun Tzu, but it is very useful to it's like a counterintelligence manual in some sense, and but for we do want to stop this over expansion of this communist ideas. As far as I know, I don't want that. I want to remain an individual. I want to remain free of to think what I want, to say what I want, and to do what I want, as long as I do no harm. And that is freedom. That is freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want it. And so. For it's like they're playing with fear. Fear is the only instrument they have. Some Su explains that the only one thing to fear is fear itself. And for what is the worst thing that can happen? We can die, and we're all gonna die anyway. So I'm just saying, treasure the life you have, treasure the love, turn into love, and make love the dominant force within all experiences every day of your life. And so, but that's something we're working on. For there's a greater cosmic shift that is going on. We're implicated. It's not just a planet. It's more. It's our solar system. It's our star cloud, it's our galaxy, it's the whole universe of universes is going through a major change. So when there's going to be some great shift coming from the sun, at some point we'll know. Follow your intuition when that comes, and stay home. Just let when the dimensional shift come about. For it is important to rest and get ready. For the next push will be on the 20th of March. It's around the spring coming, but always choose love and choose love. And choose the now rather than the future or the past. For within the now, all things can be envisioned, all things can be created and recreated. And for you have nothing to worry, you can let go of relationships as well, because relationships are eternal, because love is eternal. We're coming to it's the dark ones, so just offered us an opportunity, all this dark matrix, to express love, to rediscover unconditional love, because as we descended through the dimension, love became conditional and lost its eternal purity and its magic. But we're returning to that. For there is a fifth dimensional parallel Earth that's already available, and that is where we'll find our personal freedom. Yet we'll still be living in this world, but not internally. We'll be different beings. We'll have a totally different perception of that which is that which is. And also the more, because the connecting to our inner source not only will give us a great deal of it is the only point of freedom and the connection to all the spirit realm, so that makes us feel good and comfortable, but it will also increase our ability to affect the world around us. So we want to preserve as much as possible the organic reality, or return to the organic reality. And many will find that door. And right now we are all working on our inner process for liberation. Like I said, it's highly personal. And soon there's going to be a separation that will be made between those who choose the light and those who do not choose the light. So it will be a lot easier. The mask will have dropped, and we'll know exactly where everybody stands. For the inner light is your protection, and be the light only. Just know there is no shadow, no darkness within you. The Tao, the darkness, is integrated within the light. You can call them, they are intelligent beings, the yin and the yang. For we do need to be young as well, to be in the exercise of the divine will and power. For the highest wisdom is purification. We want to continue to purify our body, to purify our consciousness, to purify our emotional body. We want to stop. Do not be afraid of fear. Accept the fear, but do not dwell on it. Do not nourish conflict or opposition in any form or ways. What we need to understand is humility, to let go of our own point of view, to be humble, to allow things to draw lines to maintain our well-being, but do not give our energy away to anybody that wants to take our joy out of life. What we need to do is to be the one, the energy, to move. The realm of energy is everything is energy. Once we move into the source of energy, where before it all manifests, it's where the power lies, and so we'll be able to recreate that by going deeper within. And the outcome is a cheminement. It's an assess. It's a process. It's a little by little, because if it would come too fast, you would just the consciousness would not allow it or tolerate it. So We want to continue to cultivate the sacred fires as well. The sacred fire, we cannot have too much of it. We cannot have too much of light, too much of God, too much wisdom. It's not possible. Whatever we have too much, when we have too much light, we always find a way to disseminate it. And so it is important to see. To understand also that we're getting a lot of higher codes and frequencies from the higher planes as light workers. When your heart is pure, the more pure you are, the more you can receive. And so in many ways, so we'll continue to not judge yourself, but continue to purify, to connect to that pure part we all have, that pure part of God within ourselves, which is the essential, the most essential part of ourselves is the eternal creator. And so to understand that we're getting a lot of new codes and frequencies, but all those who work for the dark side do not get any of that. They're only getting the result of what they're doing on the outside world. They have a different level of mirror. So but each soul that made these choices and of experiences, and we all go through the process in any event. So it's about forgive them. They know not what they do. Yet we want to stop the unconsciousness and negative emotion, the way those polarity, continue to cultivate the peace, to broadcast the peace, and we continue to speak to, can communicate, speak to the energy, communicate with the divine light, the divine, the flames, the energies, and usually then you can command them. You can command them, and so continue to dwell in your inner kingdom as much as possible. Know there is this realm of divinity that's within, and that's the more we have to open the doors of, so our consciousness can be fully settled there. And there are many mansions within the Father's universe, but it is really the essence is to recognize the presence of God. As you recognize the presence of God within you and within all things and all beings, God can recognize you, and the new there is a new form of new privilege that can be given and as consciousness to send. And so well, I hope this message was interesting for you. And the card of the day is the same one as we had in French in some sense. Is the card of celebration. Many reasons to celebrate. Good news, family, social celebration. All kinds of new things are coming into the alignment now. And so I thank you for continuing to cultivate your inner light, to continue to cultivate love, to stop the pendulum of duality within yourself and within others as well, to let them see that there is this potential for great enlightenment and joy, rather than this what they're trying to sell us in the news. And so for this presence of God within ourselves, as it increases, eventually it's going to accumulate, and all the dark forces will be an exodus. They won't be able to stay. So it's like we're working towards that. In the meantime, work on your inner process. Listen to your soul, your heart. So I'm going to finish with a song. I don't feel like singing the song. I sing the French reading. It was a French video. It was Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins, that talks about exclusions. We want to create a world where all beings can feel included and loved. That will come. But I'm going to sing this song of U2. It's a more romantic song. It's called All I Want Is You. You say you want diamonds on the ring of gold. You say you want your story to remain untold, but all the promises we make from the cradle to the grave, when all I want is you. You say you'll give me a highway with no one on it, treasures just to look upon it, all the riches in the night. You say you'll give me eyes in the moon of blindness, a river in the time of dryness, a harbor in the tempest. But all the promises we make from the cradle to the grave, when all I want is you. You say you want Your love to work out right, to last with me through the night. You say you want diamonds on the ring of gold, your story to remain untold, your love not to grow cold, and all the promises we break from the cradle to the grave, when all I want is you. You, all I want is you. When all I want is you. For there is so much that is ready to unfold. So just be in the joy, be in the gratitude and receptivity as much as possible. Do not let your mind and the bag of trick of the ego, so they pull you in. Just follow whatever balanced life, a balanced way of living. And the card of the day is the decision, the Archangel Jophiel. It's about setting the birds free, this freedom. It says, free yourself from anything that prevents you from moving forward. Need to purify. We're returning to where is the wisdom, is in the purification. Unjustified worry induced by the lack of trust in yourself. As we purify, we're going to regain so much power and trust within ourselves. It's going to be quite amazing to return to that. So I hope you enjoyed this day and this message. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Adonai.